Hello everyone, my name is Steven, a mechanical engineer here at Mission Communications, and today I'm going to show you how to change a battery on the MyLevel. This device we have here is the MyLevel L, which is the level device, and that can be distinguished by having one float connector and one sensor connector. On the MyLevel F, you would have two float connectors here, and then the plug would be over there. To get started on changing the battery, obviously you would want to remove the device from the site. So whether you pull the device out and you take it back to your shop or you do it on site, you want to make sure the area is clean. You'll want to wipe down the device with the provided alcohol wipes. So wipe the seal region around here, wipe off the connectors, and make sure that wherever you're doing it is dry and no debris can fall into the device. To do this job, you'll need a powered driver with a flathead bit, a fairly large one. If you don't have a powered one, you can use just a normal screwdriver, again with a large flathead bit. You will need a small prying device. So I have a small flathead screwdriver here. You can use a blade or some sort of wedge with a small thin tip on it to get between the enclosure. Of course, you will need your replacement battery. And then you will have a new battery spacer with a dried replacement desiccant pack in there. To get started, I'm going to use the power driver here. I'm going to loosen the 6 captive screws here. For this, you do not need to pick any order. I'm just going to start in the corner here. You don't want to go too quick on these because they will start backing out the captive screws. So put a little pressure on and just go. Right there, you'll hear a click, click, click. If you don't hear the click, it's going to start threading out, so you'll want to stop at that point. Click, click, click. Now it's starting to back out, so I stopped. Click, click, click. And out. And now the screws are undone. Typically, if it's been out in the field for a while, it's going to have pressurized, so pulling the enclosure apart might be a little difficult. You can try pulling on the connectors. You can see I'm starting to wedge it apart, and this one actually came apart. Typically, what you may need to do is take your screwdriver, wedge it in there, and I'll either do it in this little area next to the captive screws here, here, here. You want to wedge it in there, kind of twisting. I want to get typically under the captive screw here and then pop it open. At that point, you can remove the top enclosure and now you have your board. And in some cases, the O-ring will be a little sticky. And this one, you can see, has popped out. All you need to do is just run your finger around. Obviously, your finger needs to be clean and push it back in. During this time, make sure to inspect if there's any dirt, water in the device, and again, any dirt on the O-ring. To remove the battery, it's as simple as you can remove the spacer and pull the battery back to remove. You can also, as an assembly, pull them out together. We're going to put these to the side. We're going to take our new battery. And if you look here, there's a pad. You got your negative terminal here with 4 positives. This matches the battery. Negative in the center, positive on the outside. So you can rotate this any direction to make a good contact. So you just slide it in there. I will slide the battery forward, take my new battery spacer with the desiccant pack, slide it in there, and you're done. Now, that is the battery replacement. You're going to slide it back into the enclosure. Again, it needs to fit on these grooves. I typically start on one side, get it going, and then kind of lift the board up a little bit to get in the other groove, slide it in. To tighten, you want to do a star pattern. So what I typically do is I do 1, then go to 2. I will jump to a corner, 3, then the opposite corner, 4, then 5, then 6. After those are tightened, you want to go back over because these haven't been tightened all the way. At that point, I jump down, 1, 2, then I go opposite, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll do that now. And again, I take my driver. This one, not very strong torque, but I have it on the 2 setting. You need a low torque for this. If you do too much torque, you have the risk of breaking the piece of plastic in here that holds the captive screw. And at that point, the screw won't hold the lid down right there, and that could be a point of failure for water to get into the enclosure. So to do it, just take it, you screw it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, jump down. See how much that one moves? So that one's now tight. Go up. 4. And these are already pretty tight, but we just do a little extra to ensure they're good. At that point, your enclosure is now sealed and ready to be put back in the field. And whether you're on site, what I typically do is this high float is what will give power to the device. I typically do my antenna first. I will do my sensor next, and when I'm ready to put the unit back in, I'll go ahead, connect the high float. That will close the contact, power up the device, and at that point, you can hang it back in, do a high float test once it checks in, and you are good to go. And that is replacing a battery at a MyLevel.